Topping Talks.
Let's see it.
105 hours a week, can't be beat. Welcome to Topping Talks. Topping Talks is a Topping Tribune production, and today's episode is proudly sponsored by Topping Technologies and ExpressVPN. Topping Talks is also on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more. Topping Technologies is an IT value-added reseller and services company with a special proficiency in IT security. Heck, I see their founder at least twice a day. Gotta say he's quite handsome and brilliant. He's me, you see. That's the joke. If you're an IT leader or a business owner, you reach the team at sales@toppingtechnologies.com. Also, are you part of the 3.6% of Americans who still care about their privacy? If you are, then perfect ExpressVPN can assist. Even though 96% of stats are made up on the spot, ExpressVPN just give a 100% guarantee via the 30-day back money guarantee. Now, without further ado, I'm proud to say today I'm interviewing Fazel, who is the IT engineer at HedgeServ. Thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thank you, Nick, for having me.
Absolutely. So winding back the clock a couple years, what was it like growing up in the Middle East, and what was your journey to get here and get into IT?
I'm originally from Afghanistan. I born and grown up in Afghanistan, in north part of Afghanistan. Special about North Afghanistan is we have open-minded people. Mm-hmm. They love entertainment, music. They love educating their daughters and their sons. Mm-hmm. And I was one of the luckiest boys to be born in north part of Afghanistan.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
So what was the education like? Did you have is it kind of like, because the U.S. you have, elementary school, middle school, high school, college, or what was that like?
Yes, I did go to elementary, then middle school. I finished my high school in one of the schools that was established by Turkish people.
Oh, cool.
So I finished my high school in that Turkish school, so I can speak Turkish, and also I was able to learn English in that high school. And my native language is Uzbeki.
Oh, really?
Besides that, I can speak Persian, Pashto, Urdu, like 7 languages.
That's incredible. At what age did you learn all those? Have you learned those throughout your whole life? Or most people struggle to speak one language.
Yep. So in Afghanistan, we have different ethnic groups, like Pashtuns, Tajiks, and Hazara and Uzbeks. So Uzbek people, they definitely speak in their language. So I'm Uzbek. I learned Uzbeki that way. Mm-hmm. And when you're outside from your house in Afghanistan, you have to speak Dari, which is Persian.
Oh, really?
So I learned Persian that way. I learned Turkish and English in high school. And I learned Urdu, by the way, watching Bollywood movies.
Really? No way.
Yeah.
And what language was the hardest to master, and what kind of learning techniques was it? Do you have a textbook, or are you using computer applications, or?
The time I finished the high school, it was 2001. Mm-hmm. That is the same time which 9/11 attacks happened in America. Mm-hmm. For Turkish and English, I learned both of them professionally. That was one of the subjects that we have to study in high school. Mm-hmm. But the other language, Persian, is also official language in Afghanistan, which is, we call it Dari.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I learned that in school. Mm-hmm. And as far as Uzbeki, so that was our native language. Mm-hmm. We used to speak in our family, everyone. Mm-hmm. So I learned Uzbeki that way.
That's incredible.
Thank you.
Now, what was it like growing up over there?
As far as I remember, my childhood was in Civil War. Mm-hmm. It was fight between the Soviet Union backed up government and Mujahideen.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember those shells were fired around our house, and all those fighting street to street. I remember those little.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, then after that, in 1996, 95, actually, Taliban took over North Afghanistan.
Oh really?
The Taliban, all we know that are like a lot of people, they don't like to call them now terrorists, but I call them terrorists.
Oh, yeah.
And little brother of Al Qaeda.
Yeah.
So when they took over a school, they closed the schools, they banned
Really?
music, they
So they just came in, they shut down the schools?
yes,
Yeah.
everything. You couldn't play music. We had like little TV, box TV. We used to watch. My father, he was so scared. He had to break it, because if the Taliban would see it while they're searching houses, they might beat up my father.
Really?
Yeah, he
Just
had
for, just for owning the TV?
Yes.
Oh my God.
And even after that, I was already in high school when the Taliban took over, and it continued till year 2000. In the beginning of 2001, there was like they started to becoming more extreme. They start like hanging people in the stadium, and also all these stuff. Like,
Really?
because they were not following any laws, international laws. So they were getting more sanction from United Nations and United States. So what happened then? I remember like when the 9/11 attacks happened in America, and I think I was in holiday from school, and then that is how I grew up in Afghanistan.
Oh my gosh. A lot of people don't realize how evil and morally vacuous the Taliban is. It astonishes me that some Americans think they're good. That's disgusting.
I mean, you put really good clothes, and you put really good makeup on a monster. He's a still monster.
That's true.
You cannot change him.
That's
So
absolutely true.
I use the same phrase for Taliban. They're monsters. It's in their blood. They're not gonna change. If they have a change, they would already show us by controlling Afghanistan that they will let girls go to school,
Exactly.
let people have their human rights,
Yeah.
let the people go to work. Like women, they cannot go to work. Girls, they can't go to school. The universities are closed. Even other people from other ethnics, they're like a second-hand human for them. They think like you're nothing. We control, and we have to be under power. Imagine putting a priest on a construction project to control a construction project. They have brought this religious people, we call it mullah, on the public work department.
Really?
Yeah, on technology department. They don't know nothing but just like sitting in that office, making it dirty. And that's what's going on in Afghanistan. And
it's just all about control.
yeah, all religious people, they do technical stuff. And everybody thinks that they are doing a good job, but no. There are some people like me still left in Afghanistan, and they love their country, and they help that religious man who's sitting in as a responsible person in that department. They help him, like they show him what they did. he should do, how to write a letter, how to use a computer, how to print.
Really?
Yeah, they're like, wild people coming from mountains. Wow, you gotta expect them to control the whole country.
And then after that was, I'm guessing, the big thing that inspired you to join to help the U.S. military as well?
Yeah, when 9/11 incident happened in America, my English professor, he told me America needs interpreters. Do you want to join? I told him yes, definitely. Where are they? So that's how my English professor, he introduced me to the first team that was deployed to Afghanistan, North Afghanistan, OD 595. I started working with them as an interpreter. We were like four interpreters at that time.
And then how old were you?
I was 16 years old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was 16 years old. Why I joined Americans? Because my whole life was in an attorney. Like first Mujahideen fighting between each other, then Taliban took control over and shut down everything for young people like me. And I wanted to have freedom, and I wanted to see that how the world looks like.
Yeah.
And that's why I joined Americans.
What was it like with your first assignment? Did they suit you up? Did you have to do the training? So what it was like drinking from the fire hose, so to say, like a lot of information going back and forth?
It is when my professor took me to them, I saw first Americans, and I was so excited.
Yeah.
I was like, they had the tan clothes with a rifle, MR-15, hanging their neck. And I saw the first American. I was like, am I going to work with them? Am I going to help them?
Yeah.
So they told me, like, do you speak English? I told them, yes, I can speak English. Okay, you're hired.
There you go. That's a short interview.
Yes. Because they trusted my professor, my English professor, a lot. And they needed trusted people.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So they told me they trust my English professor, and they trust me too. And they already had to go through like a background check or something, like who's this guy? That way I joined U.S. Special Forces.
Oh, wow.
They didn't have much gears, like we have vests right now, helmet, all the stuff to protect them. They didn't have anything. They even didn't have vests to protect them.
Really?
They were in a simple military uniform. But still seeing them, that was, that was one of the greatest moments of my life, seeing an American in first time in my life. Yeah.
And I was going to say, what was it like that first day? So did you have to go through a training, or did you suit up, or did you go right into active combat, or what kind of translating was it?
They told me that we have to be on a standby. We had a living room. They find a quite a building that was too far from the city and from the people. And it was 2-story.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 2-story building. And we were 4 people. They hired as an interpreter. They told us, whenever we need you, you have to be ready for going out. So on the first time we didn't know what we were gonna do. Like then, what happened? They were going outside for little missions, like taking the location for the GPSs and doing some surveillance and other stuff. Actually, I joined them after Mazar Sharif was fall into the Afghan government. Before that, they were in other areas, which was fighting with the Taliban. I was not in that part, but I joined them after like 15 days. After they arrived to Afghanistan. So yeah, our missions was like this and doing simple stuff. Then there was in east of Afghanistan, there was 2-3 provinces still under control of the Taliban. That was the biggest mission of the team, going to Kunduz province, and they were not ready to surrender themselves to Afghan government at that time in 2001. So after like probably 10 days that I joined working with the Americans, we headed out toward Kunduz, which is like probably at least 3 to 350 miles away from the place we used to be.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
There was
it's a hike.
yes, there was 15,000 Taliban and Al Qaeda members.
15,000?
15,000.
Oh my God.
Yes. So I remember that time we didn't have these Humvees or armored trucks. We used this Toyota Land Cruiser.
I mean, those things, metaphorically, those are bulletproof. Those engines will last, but I mean, they'll last a million miles. It's a Toyota's metaphorically bulletproof, but not literally in combat.
No.
So is it just off the street that they commandeered?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And so the place we used to live and the condos in between 350 miles, there was a big desert, like a sand desert. So I was young and I was really freaked out, like what I'm doing. Like I'm going to there's a proverb in Afghanistan, if you want to die, go to Kunduz.
Really?
So we packed up everything. The mission was explained to everyone. We have been divided into 4 groups that each interpreter has to work with each group.
Oh, really?
Yes. We were together, but there was like the captain and NCO of the team with the comm people, and there was 2 people medics, 2 people like a distraction, 1 sniper, and all these together. We packed up everything with 8 vehicles, Toyota Land Cruiser vehicles. I think that should be model 1988 or something. We headed towards Kunduz to talk with Taliban or defeat them.
Yeah.
So in the desert, like we were driving and our teammates, they were like just smash the cars into each other by side while driving.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
why'd they do that?
Because they wanted to have a fun.
Oh, okay.
And we used to hand out radios to the resistance forces against Taliban. And there's a literally a tank, Russian tank, is driving by our side.
Really?
Yeah, my teammate, he would go near to tank, like both of us driving. He would hand out the radio to the soldier.
Really?
Yeah, that was craziest things that I started seeing in Americans, and I start feeling wild myself.
Yeah.
Then we arrived in Kunduz. There was a talk between Afghan resistance and the Taliban. We were backing up Afghan resistance, and B-52 airplanes were like circling around in the sky.
Oh, gosh.
That was like 8,000 Taliban agreed to surrender us.
Wow, really?
Yes, 8,000.
How'd that negotiation go, or how did they conclude that way?
Because before that, we arrived to Kunduz, we had a stop by in the middle of an area that's called Erganak. There was a big meeting between 5 Taliban leaders. That was the Chief of Staff of Army of Taliban, the Ministry of Interior, and the regional commander of North Afghanistan for the Taliban. And there was 2 other people, I don't remember now. We had a meeting, and they have decided to surrender to Afghan resistance.
Really?
Which that time was the Afghan government. So, excuse me.
Okay, so did they become prisoners of war, or how did they happen after that?
Prisoners of war. The Afghan government, they had this responsibility to carry them back to north, because in Kunduz there was no place to keep them as a prisoner.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
they had to drive back all that distance with all those guys now. Oh my gosh.
We had to drive back. But what happened, probably you have heard about the uprising in Kalai Jangi.
No, what's that?
There was a fortress, military fortress, if you go to Google and search about it, Kalai Jangi uprising. Before we head out to Kunduz, there was like 1,000 people. There were like decided to surrender to us. And this fortress, it had prison place that we could keep the prisoners over there. So what we did, we put all of them in the prison in that fortress. Then we left toward the Kunduz. What happened? These Taliban uprised and start fighting against the Afghan resistance force.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that is that's how the first CIA officer was killed in Afghanistan, Mike Spen. It happened in Kalai Jangi fighting.
And what year was that again?
2001.
Okay, 2001.
2001. So we were at the same time dealing with Kunduz with 15,000 or 12,000 Taliban. At the same time, we had a problem in Mazar-e Sharif, which we left toward the Kunduz, and these Taliban uprising were getting bigger.
Really?
They already started controlling half of the fortress and started killing people. That was the moment that I remember I couldn't sleep because of the exhaustion, because of the depression. If I was thinking, if they're out of this fortress, they're gonna take over Mazar Sharif, which is the city I used to live. And somehow we did the deal, and Kunduz, the Taliban surrendered. We headed back to Mazar Sharif.
Mhm.
When we were in fortress, still there was Taliban fighters, most of them Al-Qaeda.
Mhm.
Still they were firing out of the windows from the basement.
Really? From the basement?
Yeah, it had a really big basement
Mhm.
all around the walls
Yeah.
in the fortress. We put them there as a prisoner.
Mhm.
If you remember Johnny Walker, the first American Taliban.
I'm trying to remember. I was a kid growing up during that era. I
Okay,
think.
so Johnny Walker also was among the prisoners. We put him in Kalai Jangi fortress.
Mhm.
Our team was able to find him.
Oh wow! How did you
Yes.
find him?
Actually, he was calling for Americans. We were checking the people.
Mhm.
He was calling for Americans, and then I remember one of our teammates. He was a medic. He just showed up on he was laying down
Mhm.
because the resistance force had to throw a lot of water into that basement in order to take the control of that basement, which the Taliban were fighting from there.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it was cold. He was like shivering,
Mhm.
and then we took him to the hospital. He started saying his name, his address, where he's from. Yeah,
Wow.
I mean, for a 16 years old age teenager, I think that is already a lot to see.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
How do you handle that, or what was it like?
I mean, the only thing we wanted to be free.
Mhm.
The only thing I could see in front in the future is everyone is free. Everyone can do whatever they want. They can go to school, they can work, they can paint, they can sing.
Mhm.
I only could see that. But what happened later is totally different, which after 2005, the things are changed and the politicians started to fail in Afghanistan, and that was where another tragedy started in Afghanistan. But yeah, and that's my experience with working with the special forces in Afghanistan.
What was your most memorable or like your favorite mission that you still remember to this day? If we didn't already mention it.
We did go to a lot of short missions, and also there was a Taliban commander. He was hiding inside the village of Pashtun people,
Mhm.
near to place that we used to live, like 15 miles away.
Mhm.
And the resistance forces general, which is General Dostum, he knew it, that Taliban commander is he's hiding.
Mhm.
We headed out over there to that village. We started talking with the elders, with the people, like, hand over this Taliban commander to us.
Yeah.
They were not telling like we don't have him, and like we knew it. There was already like 500 Taliban in that village.
Oh wow,
They-
500.
Yeah, they put down their weapons, and they were just walking around us.
Really?
Yeah, I knew it. I told my team that those are Taliban. My commander was like, yeah, he's a Taliban. I know it.
Yeah.
But we can do nothing because he doesn't have a gun.
Really? I've heard horror stories about the technical rules of engagement
Yes.
where
Yes.
they could be shooting at you, but if they throw the gun on the ground, then you
Yes.
can't shoot back. Is it?
Yeah.
You saw that in real life?
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. So when the soldiers came up, they just dropped their rifles and then.
Yeah, they just dropped their rifle somewhere, and they were like near to us, like probably a few meters away from us, standing there with their turbans and long beards.
Yeah.
But we couldn't do nothing because we couldn't.
Oh my gosh, how frustrating was that?
I know it was frustrating because they could. Any of them, they could blow up a hand grenade
Yeah.
and kill a bunch of people over there, or start shooting behind the wall, mud wall. But so the funny part of this, I always tell my friends about this story. I told the elders that we know it's like around 500 Taliban over here, with this big cruel commander of Taliban hiding. We told them to surrender their guns and surrender that Taliban commander. We spent like probably 5 to 6 hours talking with these people, and we couldn't convince them. Finally, they told General Dostum that they're gonna surrender their weapons, and there was 2 elderly people. He was holding these carabine rifle.
Oh yeah.
From probably 1950 or something.
Oh my gosh, really? Vintage.
Yeah, vintage. They're bringing those, like 10 of those in their hands. And my commander, he was like laughing. Come on, we are not here for this. We are here for real gun, AK-47s and RPGs.
Yeah.
So we didn't want to, my commander didn't want to get into this a lot, like involved into this a lot, because he thought at his side like it should be resolved by locals and the government. So that was the funniest part of our mission. We knew they had the gun inside their houses, but because of Afghan tradition, as we were respecting a lot, we couldn't go inside their houses.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Basically, Afghan women, they take a face from male when they see it. They have this burqa or shawl, we call it. They just cover their faces. We call it take a face from...
take a face?
Yeah. Yeah, or hide their face.
Oh, okay. I got it. Yeah.
So because of the traditional issues, we didn't do anything. We had to wait for the commander to talk, General Dostum to talk with them. Yeah, that was one of the funniest moments.
Really?
That I saw it, and I still remember it as a joke.
Yeah, the vintage bolt-action rifles rusting away. It's like, those are probably 100 years old, because the AK-47 came out in 1947.
Yes.
Then it took, a couple decades to get, over, Russia kept that under wraps for a little bit.
Yep.
But oh my gosh, they're still using those old things.
They were not using. They wanted to.
Oh, they just wanted. Yes, as a decoy.
Just work around and deceive us and keep the guns in their houses. They could sell it for, I think that time one AK-47 was like probably like $300 or $200.
I was gonna say I know inflation's a thing, but man, that's a good deal. $200.
Yeah, that time, yeah. The AK-47 was $200.
Those are the good ones, made in Russia, full automatic. It's like
full automatic,
new. You come to America now, it's $1,000 for a semi-auto AK. It's like, oh, come on.
Even right now in Afghanistan, it's like $1,500 to $2,000.
Really?
Yeah, AK-47.
That's gone up quite a bit. Well, I know, after the USSR fell, there's a big quantity of, AKs.
There was a lot of it. There was piles of it that we have blown up.
Oh, really? I know. It makes sense.
I was working with.
Yeah.
another special forces team that their mission was to blow up all caches and weapons storage that was all hidden around the city we used to live.
What was the weirdest, most unusual, or oldest weapon that you guys found?
These carabines.
Oh, the carbine? Yeah.
That was the oldest, and the newest. We were also chasing a Stinger.
Really?
SM7.
Oh, yeah.
It is about probably like 2007 to 2010. We were chasing. I was chasing basically Stingers and some for the special forces teams.
Those things can do a lot of damage. A lot of people don't realize what they are, but yeah, you definitely want to track those down and control. Yeah.
And after my mission was completed with special forces, I worked as an interpreter with Tent Mountain.
Oh, really?
Tent Mountain for a couple of months. Then I ended up getting into engineering college because there was a general exam. I spared like 2-3 hours, go to that exam and take it, and I passed it. And
cool.
Civil engineering college. I studied 2 years over there. Then I don't know who gave my numbers to these teams again. I started getting calls that, Fazel, we need you in North. Do you have time to help us? It was in 2004 that I started helping again the U.S. Special Forces, different U.S. Special Forces. They would show up from Kabul. They would show up from, I don't know, South and call me. And there was a camp called Camp Mike Span, which was inside the 209 Afghan Corps. We used to go there in the night. Most of them, the missions would be during the night, and they would we would fly to somewhere. We catch a bad guy and come back.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then when these things got, they wanted me to go to the remote areas and get the intels for the special forces before, because we had some operations, missions that was failed because the intel was not good.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we couldn't find the guy we were looking for it. So then I started becoming the local intel guy, going to remote areas to the Taliban territory and get information. I told them I had my own guys that they work for me. They would get the information in order to get to be sure it's 100% accurate. I had to go myself and check if we were looking for a guy or for a stash, a cache stash, or for, I don't know, whatever it was. I had to go to remote area. Then I was like in danger. I knew it, that the Taliban know me. The Taliban know my face.
Really?
Yeah, because they had a really good intelligence too. They know everyone that's working for Americans. They know everyone who's working with Afghan army, with Afghan police. They know even the family members.
So what kind of precautions would you take, or how do you combat that?
I usually used to stay low profile, long beard with really old Afghan clothes, and I would cover my face with that piece of cloth. I used to do like that, and I have crossed from Taliban checking probably 10, 15 times.
Really?
Because they were not looking to my old clothes. they would like say he's old,
Yeah.
poor guy, let him go.
Really?
Yeah.
How nerve-wracking was that going to those checkpoints? And what was the process like?
They would stop it. They would look at everyone. If they like get suspicious on someone, they would tell them to get down the vehicle.
Yeah.
Because I used to use local transportation. I didn't during the night. I used to use my own vehicle, but during the day I used to be inside the people that are using the same transportation to go to that village. And I always had my little pistol with me.
Oh, yeah? What kind?
Yeah, it was Russian.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is it a revolver or I'm guessing this semi-automatic?
Semi-automatic. And then later I got what's called...
Was it the American one?
Yes, I got the American one.
Probably
Glock,
the Beretta 92F?
No, Glock. It was
really? They're
yeah.
using Glocks already?
Yes.
There you go.
That was in around 2010.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they lost contract by then. Okay.
Yeah. Then I got my MP5 because that was really easy to carry and shoot.
Oh, they weigh nothing.
Yes.
And the recoil is nothing on those things.
I could hide it on my under my clothes and nobody know that I have a gun.
That's very cool. Where do you get an MP5 over there?
Black market.
There you go. I gotta ask, how much do those things go for? Or back then?
I bought that in 2009 for $5,000.
That's it?
Yes.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah, $5,000.
Fully automatic.
Fully automatic.
Was it a clone or was it an HK German-made one or?
I don't remember. I didn't really check it because I liked it. I always kept it with me when I was like going out. Then, my interaction with U.S. Army, U.S. Special Forces, it continued till almost beginning of 2013.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Then when I started feeling that I'm in danger, I told Americans that I cannot continue like this. I have to have a reason go to this like a remote area. I told them like I'm gonna establish a construction company.
That's a good idea.
You give me a project in that area. So I'm going to implement the project and get the information you want.
Then that way you're not suspicious. You're not just out there for, why are you here?
Yes.
Well, because you're building something.
Yes.
That's brilliant.
That way we were able to catch a lot of bad guys.
Excellent.
Catch, even blow up this cache stores.
Oh, really? How much fun was that?
There's another funny story. We blowed up really big cache storage. And the second day I was in governor's office. It was in 2008.
Oh, really?
I was there. We had a project. We wanted to present to the governor and say there was improvement project of the governor's office.
Yeah.
Like putting Constantine wire, building towers around that perimeter.
Oh, yeah.
We were sitting beside him. Like he was talking to his secretary or probably one of his command. Some motherfucker blow up my cache.
Really?
The governor, he was one of the resistance forces general. Actually, we ended up blowing up his cache.
Oh, no.
And he didn't know I'm sitting beside him. That was really funny. I was holding my laugh like this. And then he was looking at us like, why our American friends do this? Why they blow up the caches? Because we're going to need it in the future against the Taliban.
Yeah.
But the policy was to destroy them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So the U.S. government was doing that to allies as well?
Yeah, because we didn't know if
If the Al Qaeda might come and take over the
yes.
cache? Oh,
Yeah, some bad
really?
guys might come and take over.
Oh.
And there was a really big black market that these people were somehow selling those guns and ammunition to the Taliban.
Okay, so they weren't really secure, so people
Yes.
they were kind of going to see them.
Yeah, we couldn't secure it because it was so big. If we go dig it out,
Yeah.
it would take us like months to take it out from that area because
Really?
the location of those caches were on the top of mountain or like somewhere like a terrain area.
Yeah.
Car couldn't go. Even we used to ride donkeys or horses to go up there, take our coordinates.
Yeah.
They were like hidden in really harsh areas. So that's why if we couldn't get it, seize it, we had to blow it up.
Oh,
That's
okay,
how
I gotcha.
Yeah.
And what was it like going to shop at the black market? So, I mean, everyone sees them in American, you see them in movies, and it looks like almost like a flea market, but with extra fun stuff. But what was it really like?
Black market, there was two types of black market. There was local dealers that they had these guns probably bought from someone and stored it somewhere. And if you need an AK-47, and they had to trust you first that you're a reliable guy. You're not giving him to the Afghan government or to the Americans. That way he will sell to you AK-47 or whatever it is. And the second black market was the Afghan army and Afghan police forces.
Really?
They were selling out their ammunition, their guns, their stock guns to Taliban.
Really?
Yeah, Taliban even themselves was telling that they're getting guns more cheaper than any other source rather than Afghan army and Afghan police force.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I wonder what the prices were like back then.
It started from like AK-47 between 2005 to 2014. It was $500 to $700.
Wow. And then what were their transactions like? Was it, I'm guessing,
Cash.
local currency?
Yeah, local currency, cash.
What kind of currency was it? Or
Afghan currency, or even you could pay them dollars.
Oh, really? So would they take American dollars
Yeah.
back then?
Yeah.
Really? Out of curiosity, would that raise suspicion? Because I don't know. I think I would guess they would be suspicious of military contractors, or was it kind of common to use the U.S. dollar a little bit, or no?
Yeah, it was common.
Really?
It was
Okay.
common. You could use for anything.
Oh, cool. Okay, I gotcha.
Because it's still your money would ended up into the black money, not white money.
Oh, yeah.
That's why you just couldn't find that where's that money is going. So, yeah, there was two types of dealers that selling guns. Then, when in 2014, Kunduz province, the province that we freed in 2001, it fall again into Taliban hands in 2014. The government forces didn't fight at all.
Really?
And when the Taliban entered to the city of Kunduz that time, their primary objective was to look after interpreters for Americans.
Really?
They were finding interpreters and shooting on the site.
Jesus.
And they had the address, the name, and
They had the intel.
picture, everything.
They had pictures too?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, how scared were you?
That's why I applied for SIV. After just like 2-3 months, I decided to apply for SIV, which is a special immigrant visas for interpreters or the people who work with Americans in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Is it an acronym, or what's it called again?
A special immigrant visa.
Oh, makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. So it's for interpreters and the people who work for U.S. government in Iraq and Afghanistan. So when I applied for SIV visa, it was end of 2014, like beginning of 2015, because I had to gather up a lot of documentation.
Really?
A lot of documentation.
What kind of documents?
First, letter of recommendation from the people I work with them.
Like the U.S. Special Forces? Okay.
Anyone. And what happened in 2015, the amount of work experience with the time of the work experience before it was 1 year requirement, then they changed it to 2 years requirement.
Jeez.
You had to gather up documents for 2 years that you have worked with Americans. It was like finding like little hidden things from here, there. I was like searching my emails, my documents, everything. So I got, I think, at least 15 recommendation letters from Americans that I worked for them. And then I had these construction contract that I did for U.S. Army. And even after 2013, I was working with USAID as an advisor, municipality advisor for at least, I think, a year. I got those, and I applied for SIV. I waited.
What was it like? Do you just mail it? Do you email them the documents, or just mail it, old-fashioned snail mail, or do you call them? Or
no, they had email address for NVC. They had email address for SIV. They had another email address. Then you had to get COM approval, Chief of Mission approval. It was 2018 that my COM approval was denied.
Really?
They were like telling me that you don't have enough documents that we should give you a SIV visa. I was like, what the heck?
Even if you gave them 15 recommendations, and then they wanted even more documents?
Yes.
Jeez. Is there an official number where they say we need X amount of documents from X, No?
They will just email you that your documents are insufficient to fulfill your visa requirement, and you have to go through all documents again and again and again.
Jeez.
I applied in end of 2014. It is 2018. They they denied my COM approval.
Again?
The ones.
Yeah.
Then I had to gather up all documents again. There was people from my friend, a veteran friend. He introduced me to a legal organization that were helping Iraqi SIV applicants. They told me they're gonna help me too. They put an attorney responsible for my case.
Really?
And they did everything. They really did good job. They reapplied for my Chief of Mission approval. I got the approval of Chief of the Mission.
Excellent.
But it is 2019. I'm not getting any email from U.S. Embassy in Kabul for interview. It's already almost 5 years that I have been waiting.
That's insanely. That's BS. 5 years?
5 years.
Jeez.
Then I told my commander that his name is Mark Noach. I told him, I have one option. If I don't get my interview and get out of the Afghanistan, I have to leave Afghanistan illegally towards Europe.
Mm-hmm. Why is it illegal to go into Europe?
Because you have to go illegally. Nobody will give you visa to Europe from
Really?
Afghan. For Afghan passport, they don't provide Schengen visa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you have to illegally get into Europe in order to be there. Mark told me, give me at least 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
I told him, okay. Then it was a week after he told me he talked with a senator in Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to do a questionnaire to U.S. Embassy in Kabul.
Mm-hmm.
And they sent me a couple of documents to sign it. I signed them, I sent them. Believe me, after the questionnaire was done by senator to U.S. Embassy Kabul,
Mm-hmm.
after 10 days, they called me to come to the interview.
Mm-hmm.
The
Wow.
senator told the U.S. Embassy people that Fazel is already vetted.
Yeah,
He has all the documents. Why you're holding his case?
exactly.
And after 10 days, I got a call that an email also. First I got email, then I got the call. You have interview, okay.
Mm-hmm.
The interviewer in the U.S. Embassy, he told me, oh, you work with horse soldiers?
Mm-hmm.
I told him, yes. Oh, thank you for your service. I have two questions, not anymore. Like, is your biological child? I told him, yes. Is your name is Fazel Bahaduri? Yes, this is. You're done. Thank you for your service.
Excellent. There you go.
I was so happy because I was seeing people that talking to the interviewer for hours.
Really?
They had to go through every sentences of the documents he provided.
Oh my God.
And I was so happy. I got out of, then we had to do medical checkups like vaccines and other stuff. All of them finished within the next 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
And they told me that I received an email. They told me you have flight on 7th November 2019 to America.
That's awesome.
But I ended up coming to America in November 9th,
Mm-hmm.
2019. I landed to Houston, then Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
I started my life in America like this.
That's awesome. And then what inspired you? Do you get to kind of choose where in the U.S.? Or?
Yes.
Oh, yeah? What
Yeah.
inspired you to choose Texas?
I mean, I have heard about Texas too much, especially about Dallas. We were two friends. We were coming together. He chose Austin, and I chose Dallas. Because one of my commanders, one of his friends is living in Dallas. His name is John Stedler. He helped me a lot. He showed me a lot of things, how to get dissolved into American lives. He was like a mentor to me. That's why I came to Dallas. But it still reminds me of my city.
Really?
Yeah, it is big.
Yeah.
Roads are big. Everything is big here. So
Yeah.
it was similar to my city. And oh my God, the hotness.
Oh,
The
yeah.
first reason, because I don't like cold weather.
Yeah.
That's why I ended up in Dallas since 2019. I'm living here.
That's awesome. What was it like when you first arrived here? Did you already have an apartment ready to go? Did you get to tour? And what was it like getting your first job outside of now, going from military contractor to now, private sector in the United States? What was that like?
When I started living in Dallas, there were Texas Refugee Services of Texas, which is an organization for refugees. They already rented an apartment for me.
Oh, excellent.
Yes. And then couple of weeks we were going to. My caseworker. He were taking me to their office, explaining about laws, about the ordinance, about life in America, how the refugees should start here, and. After 2 months, actually, United States government, they support a refugee family for 6 months.
Oh, excellent.
They paid like around, according to their family, number of their family, they pay some amount of money for rent, and they provide you food stamp and Medicaid for healthcare. All of my friends, they were saying me, I found a lot of Afghans and start getting friends with them. They were telling me, you have 6 months, just stay at home, enjoy the life.
Yeah.
Then one of my friends, he told me, Fazel, look, you have to go to work because the money you get from RSC, you can save it as a saving and buy a car or something.
Ah.
I told him, okay. I started applying for construction jobs. Like I would get a call and they would tell me, you're overqualified for construction job.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then I didn't get a construction job. Then I started like, what should I do? Like I asked my friends, my neighbors, that Afghan neighbors, I told them I need a job. They told me, you want to work at the warehouse? I didn't know what warehouse looked like.
Oh, really?
I thought probably it's like an office work or something. But I ended up getting job in Elliott Electric Supply in Farmers Branch. And I was cutting these big ass cables.
Oh, really?
It was really tough job. Like I was like working out like 10 hours a day.
Oh my God.
And heat and cold. It was really big, but I'm really thankful for the people that were in Elliott Electric Supply. They supported me a lot. They taught me a lot of things.
That's awesome. So what kind of course were you cutting? Was it electrical or Ethernet or?
No, of course. They just give me trainings, like how to cut cables, how to reel it, how to roll it. There was big orders from the companies. They needed electric wires. It started from like a 3 mm to 200, 300, 500 mm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Those are
cables.
industrial. That's big.
Yeah, so big. I worked there almost more than a year. Then I was looking into other option because I thought, how long am I gonna do this tough physical job? Because it's gonna turn me out, and at the same time it doesn't have good pay. It was $15 an hour. So I started looking for job again. I started applying for job. I ended up getting few interviews with the security company in Plano. They told me they needed a chief officer for their security people. We had really good interview. They told me, you deserve to get this job. And your pay, I asked them how much they're going to pay me.
Yeah.
They told me they're going to pay me like 17 or more than that an hour. I told them, okay, $1 more is a saving. Then they told me to come again to their office. When I was there, they told me they're going to pay me $15.
What?
Yes, I was like, no, I'm not going to.
Yeah, that's BS.
Yes, actually, they also offered me another position because they already give the chief officer position to someone else.
Really?
They told me, yeah, you're gonna look just on the cameras, check surveillance. I told them no.
Yeah.
I ended up. Then I got a construction job
Oh, really?
as a superintendent.
Oh, cool.
The problem with this job was I was on feet from like 12 hours to 15 hours a day.
Oh my God, 12 to 15 hours?
Hours a day.
Wow.
It was a QT remodeling.
Oh, really?
QT is
Yeah,
fuel station.
the gas stations?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
But it was in Denton, and I had to drive like almost 1 hour
Just to get there?
Yeah, to get there.
Oh, that's a lot.
And one day, it was on Saturday, I left the job, and I was already tired. I was there for 3 days, night and days. And I could get some sleep in my car, but not regular sleep.
Yeah.
And I text my wife that I'm leaving the site, coming home to cook me something.
Yeah.
And then I was on I-35, getting out of the Denton. I ended up waking up because I slept while I was driving.
Oh, no.
Yeah, somebody was honking
Yeah.
at the back of me. I wake up, and I was lucky the road was empty, the highway was empty. I could get into really bad accident, hurt someone or get hurt. Then I got these coffee sachets in my backpack. I ate them and come home and told my wife that I'm not gonna work in this job.
Yeah.
She was like, no, you have to. I told him, it doesn't work to kill myself.
No.
And again ended up back going to Elliott Electric Supply, working for, yeah. Then my commander, he is like call me every 2 weeks, 3 weeks, how's life? And
That's awesome.
he asked me, he wanted to help me money. I told him, Mark, don't give me the fish.
Yeah.
Show me how to catch the fish.
Exactly.
He was like, what, you want to get a better job? I told him, yeah, better job with better pay. He told me that he gonna look around. So what happened, I received a call out of nowhere. There was a lady. She told me, are you Fazel? I told her, yeah. She told me that HedgeServ company just moved from New York to Dallas.
Really?
They need a facilities manager. That was recommended by my commander.
Yeah.
And I told him, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that. Then I ended up getting the interview. I passed the interview. They liked me a lot. And since the transition of moving my chairman from New York to Dallas, it was like a long time, 2-3 months. I was like doing like simple office things like stocking things, fixing stuff, fixing the wall. I fixed the whole office. They had a whiteboards and everything. I removed them. I painted. I fixed the drywalls.
Oh, nice.
Because I had a construction experience.
You knew.
When the chairman of company, he moved to Dallas, I started helping him with running errands, hanging his pictures, fixing his house, some stuff like, I don't know, his doors somehow loose. I would go fix it for him.
Excellent.
He wanted to install a new shower in his bathroom. I would tell him I would do it for him. Yeah. And then, I did. I did my job, but he told me, like after a year, he told me, Fazel, you have more skills and I see potential in you. He told me facilities is, you're a facility manager, but you're running after, that is the like a top of it. There's no more going up. He told me he want to move me to IT. I was like, okay or not? Like, I was really in a shock. What should I say to him?
Yeah.
I told him I don't have experience in IT. I know how to run my computer, but I don't know how to get into corporate IT job. He told me, don't worry, you're going to do better than anyone in IT department. And eventually it ended up like that.
That's awesome.
So that's how I moved to IT.
What was the biggest challenge getting, once you started that role, or what was the biggest kind of thing that you struggled learning it, right off the bat?
So at the same time, I started working in IT, getting the training. At the same time, I was working as a facilities manager for my boss.
Oh, wow.
He would call me out of nowhere, like in the middle of training.
Yeah.
He would say, come to my house, do this.
Yeah.
And I was like, what am I going to do? I didn't learn anything.
Yeah.
That was the most challenging. Then they were struggling, the HR were struggling to find my replacement in the facilities for 5 months.
Oh, wow. 5 months.
5 months.
Oh, my gosh.
Because there was a lot of people, but they expected someone like me to...
Yeah. Exactly.
And I was like in the IT for an hour, then going back to facilities for rest of the day.
Yeah.
And by next 4 months, I forgot everything.
Oh, no.
They got a facility manager hired, and they moved me to end user support.
Yeah.
And I was like, what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
Because all those trainings, then I started doing a lot of things myself. I got finished this Google IT training.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I finished that, and I finished a couple of other trainings on LinkedIn and on Udemy. And then I started understanding what is corporate IT is.
Oh, yeah.
Because my supervisor, he was asking me, why you didn't add this computer to MBAM group? What is MBAM group?
Yeah.
I didn't know that, like, because
You're
they
needed-
showed me
you're-
like 4 months ago.
Yeah.
And then 80 groups, all these stuff, how to set up a computer, how to reimage or image Windows installation on it, and then how to secure it.
That's a big one.
Yes, how to secure it. And all these were my first steps to start working on it. Then when I learned that, I was like constantly was on my personal training, learning how to deal with Office 365.
Oh, yeah.
Learn how to deal with Windows 11. We have a lot of application that we use only in HedgeServ. Sometimes it needs hours. We have a team for that, but still they need our support in order to troubleshoot that problem.
Oh, yeah.
I started studying about them, checking the old tickets, what the
Yeah.
people did.
Yeah.
And I joined next May. After 2 months, it's going to be my 2 years working as an IT engineer.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes, my first review, my director, my supervisor, my director was telling me, our expectation was something like this from you. and you did this for us.
That's excellent. Always go above and beyond.
Yeah, and they were like so worried because if I if I didn't learn anything, what they gonna do? What they gonna tell to chairman of the company? He's some guy like he would straightly tell them that you didn't. Probably he would tell them like you were not able to teach him how to learn IT.
A lot of pressure. Yeah.
You failed him. He did not because I did a lot of things for him, for the chairman of the company. So they were worried that if I fail, they're gonna get really big criticism from the chairman.
Exactly.
But they were happy that I was really improved and I was able to. So it is my second year, my second review. I got 4 out of 5.
It's awesome.
Yes, because everyone was satisfied and they didn't have to add anything to my own review that I added. Like they didn't have to anything to add to my review. I was like, okay, I could ask you 5.
Yeah.
My director told me even they could give me 5 because they don't give 5 to no one. So the 4 is beyond the. I learned a lot of stuff. I mean, I knew how to work on my computer, install my Office, or troubleshoot something. I remember I used to install Windows 98 through the DOS program.
Oh, really?
Yes, I remember that. Then Windows 7 showed up, Windows Vista showed up. Then Windows 8 was one of the best Windows that we could rely on it. I remember installing them or troubleshooting them for my neighbors sometimes if they would ask my help.
Yeah.
But corporate jobs, it is totally different. It is totally...
it's a different level.
Different level, and you have really a lot of responsibility to be responsible for what you put on the ticket resolution.
Very true.
Yes, and I started using a lot of tools that we use in the office. Then after, in my first year, I struggled a lot, but now I'm taking LAM Tier 2 trainings.
Oh, nice.
Which is logical access.
Yep.
And I hope to get a promotion by end of this year.
Yeah.
And probably I will stay as an end user support or maybe move to some other department. But this is my whole life story.
I love it.
Topping talks.
I love it. And what do you like to do outside the office?
Outside the office, I have 2 kids.
Congrats.
2 boys, 8 years and 5 years. They are so energetic. They are so energetic. Basically, when I arrive home, I help them with their homeworks, and we do some wrestling, some some stuff in the house. But Saturdays and Sundays, we are totally out in the park. I usually cook a lot myself.
Oh, really? What kind of stuff you like to cook?
Barbecue.
Oh, that's good.
Lamb rib chops, like sausages. And
sounds delicious right about now.
Yeah. I cook a lot, like Afghan kebab, chicken
what's that
kebab.
like?
Yeah.
What's an Afghan kebab?
Yeah, kebab is a Afghan barbecue. It's
really?
a little bit different. You have to put them in the steak, and it can be sheep meat or chicken. You have to marinate it like for 24 hours.
Oh, wow.
That's going to be so juicy, so soft. And And my hobby is playing games.
Oh yeah, what kind of games do you like?
I like to play first person shooter games like Medal of Honor,
Oh, yeah.
Battlefield, Black Ops. These were my things. And still I love to play them, but because of my kids,
Not much time.
I don't do that. I know they're gonna get obsessed with it.
Oh yeah.
So walking a lot, biking. I started biking, and I used to go to gym a lot.
Yeah.
I would spend like 2-3 hours in the gym
Oh
when I
wow.
was in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
But here, oh my God, you're so busy
Oh yeah.
to find the amount of money to pay the bills,
Yeah.
and you don't want it. I mean, you don't have that energy. Go to the
Right.
gym.
Well, especially in IT, it's a job that never ends. And
Yes.
the computers are always on. The end users are always have questions, whether it's the
Yes.
weekend or the holidays.
Yes.
It never stops.
Yesterday, I'm about to leave the office. I wrapped up everything. I received a call from a user.
Yep.
Like, my keyboard is not working.
Oh jeez.
I was like, what should I do? Like, okay, I decided to help her.
Yep.
I helped her. She was so happy because she's supposed to work from home today.
Yeah.
And she was like telling me nobody from IT people was in the office, in New York office. And she had to call me, and she was really appreciating
Yeah.
that I helped her.
Well, it makes all the difference in the world when you find people who
Yes.
are willing to go above and beyond.
Yes.
Because so many people are willing to be like, oh, whoa, it's 4:52 on a Friday, gotta leave. It's like,
Yes.
well, sometimes gotta go a little above and beyond. It makes all the difference, and people really appreciate it.
Yes, and she was like so happy
Yeah.
because she told me if I didn't help her, she had to come to the office taking like in New York.
In your
commute,
traffic?
yeah,
Oh
traffic.
no, God, it'd be terrible.
And she was, I mean, everyone from simple user to executive directors that I have dealt with, they're happy from my work.
Excellent.
And they sometimes send a Teams message or an email to my director and say that Fazel did amazing work.
Excellent.
And I always get praises like after 2-3 weeks, and I'm happy. I'm happy because I have a really good team. We're 22 people around the world.
Oh, cool.
The whole team, IT team. But we have 3 engineers in Dallas. We're a really good team. They help me a lot. I try to be a good part of the team, learn more, be more positive, and bring more good things into team.
That's what it's all about, building good teams, finding good people.
Yes.
I was going to say, thank you so much for coming on the show, Fazel. I really appreciate it. I had a great time.
Thank you, Nick. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. We'll have to have you on just again soon. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time listening. Don't forget, Topping Talks is also on YouTube, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and more. Also, don't forget to take the time to click that subscribe button. It's greatly appreciated. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe. You have a great day. Topping Talks.